So we programmed our bird and our pipes and our backgrounds, and everything is working fine. Now we need to add a couple effects. So we want, well, that bird flapping effect. We want, well, to know when our bird, well, passes through our pipes and gets a point, and also when our bird dies. Now we will simply go in the inspector panel and of course select our bird and go here under add component, audio, and add an audio source. I will click on the script here, or we can also click on the audio source and move it up so it can be above our script and our script will be down, and simply click apply here so that change apply to our prefab, and remove this or uncheck display on awake. And here we will not add audio clips because we are going to add them in our script. So we are going to use our audio source to play our sounds, and we can go back in our script now, and here in our bird script we need to add a couple more, well, variables here. We are going to, well, have a serialized field which is going to be our private, and it will be audio source. So here I will just say audio source, and I will just name it audio, which is the audio source that we have attached. And also another serialized field, it will be private, and this will be audio clip. So it will be flap clip, and here it will be point clip, and also died clip. So let me just type that right. So it's died clip. Now what this line of code here means is that we have declared 3 variables instead of 1. So this right here is equivalent to doing, well, private audio clip, flap clip, and then below it private audio clip, point clip, so on and so forth. So this way we have declared 3 variables, and we can go back here, and now in our inspector panel we have this audio source, flap clip, point, and died clip. We can drag our bird here for the audio because we have this audio source attached to it, and we can, well, click here, and for the flap clip we will select this fly clip. For the point clip this will be, well, our pink clip here, and for the died clip here we will select this, well, dead clip, and we can, well, press apply to apply that to our prefab. Now we see that we have this warning here, and it says that our audio variable, well, hides the inherited member, which this basically means that we also have, well, this audio as a variable in our, well, mono behavior. So here I will just change it to be audio source, so like this, and we need to go back because we changed it here. What we need to do is attach our bird again, so this will fix our problem, and we see that well, error went away, or that warning is now gone. Now we can go back in our script and we can play our sound. So I will just copy this audio source, and here where we are flapping I can simply play our audio source. So we'll say audio source dot play, and this will play the clip that we pass in. So for flapping we are going to play our flap clip basically. Now in order to play our 2 other sounds we need to create 2 functions here. So the first one will be void on collision, so on collision enter 2D, and it will take, well, collision 2D as a parameter. So here it will be collision 2D, and we are going to name it target. And the second one will be, well, void on trigger enter 2D, and this will take a collider 2D as an argument, and we are also going to name it target. Now what are these 2 functions here? Well, basically we saw on trigger enter 2D. Now what is this on collision enter 2D? Well, if we go back here and we see that we have a problem, so it's our audio clip. So here instead of play it will be play 1 shot. So just type here play 1 shot, and that will fix our problem that we are getting here in the Unity editor. Now going back in our on trigger and our on collision, what that means? Well, basically in order for that on trigger enter to be activated, our collider needs to be, well, trigger, but in our case our bird is not a trigger, and also our pipes here, so if we select one of our pipes they are also not triggers, and also our ground, because, well, our bird is going to be able to touch the ground, it will not be a trigger. Now in order to detect that collision we need to use on collision enter 2D. So I will repeat again so that you can memorize it. So in order to use on trigger enter function, one of the colliders, so either the collider that has the script or the collider that we are colliding with, needs to be set to be a trigger. If both colliders are not set to be trigger, then we need to use on collision enter 2D. So now we can simply go back in our script, and here in on collision enter we simply can check if our target.gameObject.tag is equal to ground, or, and this double pipe sign means or. So basically that means if our, well, target.gameObject tag is equal to ground or is equal to pipe. So if we touch the pipe or we touch the ground, so this will be true, and we can execute the code that's inside of these, well, parentheses. So if we touch our ground or our pipe, we are going to check if our bird is alive. So if the bird is alive while we do this, then our bird is dead. So here we're going to say is alive is equal to false. We are going to say our anim, so it will be anim.set trigger, so it will be our bird died trigger. So here we're going to say bird died in order to, well, play the animation that our bird died. And here we're going to say our audio source dot play one shot, and it will be our died clip. So basically our died clip, because we want to, well, simulate, well, that our bird has died. And here inside of our onTrigger enter 2D, what we can do is we can say if our target dot tag is equal to our pipe holder, meaning that we went through our pipes and we can get a point. For that, what we can do is we can, well, just play our audio source, and we can also create here, so here below it we can create a public, well, int score, and we can set our score basically. So we can just copy the score, and for the initialize, so it will be 0, because when we start the game our score will be 0, and here we can just increment the score by 1 and play that clip. And later on, when we create our game controllers, we can inform them, well, what is the score, so that, well, they will display that score to the user using our UI text. Now we can simply go back in our Unity editor and test all of this. So now when we flap, we will see or hear, excuse me, this flap sound. And when we go to our pipes, so we hear all of our sounds. So when we go to our pipes, we will hear that, well, collect coin sound, which will indicate that we have 1 point. And when we die, we will hear that, well, die sound. So now we'll just take a look at again. So we see that we are flapping, we have a point, and now we are dead. So, well, we play that clip and we have died.